At Sunday dinner, my sister lifted her glass and said with a smile sharp enough to slice, "Mom and Dad think you never contribute." Hands actually clapped. I let the applause fade and said, calm as a receipt, "Excellent. Then the $8,000 I've been sending for their mortgage stops today." Dad coughed hard enough to rattle the ice in his tumbler. Mom went the color of unbaked dough. The roast chicken gleamed in the center of the table, like everything my mother plates for these monthly pageants. Steam lifted from a mountain of mashed potatoes. I cut my portion into neat squares. My strategy here has always been the same: low flame, no smoke. "So, as I was saying," Clara began again, savoring the stage, "the guest bath is finally finished. Marble heated floors. Nathan insisted." Her husband squeezed the back of her chair like he owned the furniture and the air around it. My nephew, Evan, nudged peas into constellations while our parents sat at opposite ends like minor royals. "That sounds lovely," Mom beamed, pride that once bruised me now just making me tired. Aunt Lila chimed in. "At 36 and already a partner, Nathan, remarkable." 37, he corrected. Clara cleared her throat. "We've been talking and someone needs to say it." The room tensed. Dad considered his wine. Mom arranged her sympathy face. I set down my fork. "Say what?" I asked, though I knew the script. "That you're stuck, Mara," Clara said. "You don't show up, you don't help, you exist." I smiled then because the line I'd rehearsed was finally useful. "Perfect. Then I'm done paying for the house." Silence took a seat. "What payments?" Dad asked, his fork clinking. I slid my phone across the table, banking app bright, rows of transfers to their joint account. 3 years, I said. 36 times $8,288,000. Clara blinked as if I'd spoken a foreign language. Mom's napkin trembled. Aunt Lila stared at the chicken like it might testify. Dad stood. "Mara, this isn't—" "It is," I said. "You came to my apartment on a Tuesday, face I didn't recognize, and said you'd lose the house. You asked me to keep it from Mom. I agreed. I kept quiet while you all called me deadweight." "That's not fair," Clara tried. "It's accurate." I breathed in lemon and thyme from a bird I'd essentially bought. "Since we're naming contributions." Nathan finally found a sentence. "You could afford that?" "I'm a senior strategist. $180 a year." I kept my voice flat. "I keep an old car and a walk-up because I chose you. That's the math." Silence rippled into the hall, the frames, the staged fruit bowl. Then Mom whispered, "We had an arrangement." "We did," I said, "and it ends." I stood, chair legs scraping like a verdict. Dad reached for me. I stepped back. "Please, privately." "No, privately is how we got here." I left with everyone talking at once. Outside, the air felt honest. In my car, my hands stopped shaking. At home, I ignored the calls, poured wine, and sat on my balcony over the alley. The city hummed. I let the night hold me. For once, it didn't hurt. My phone buzzed, paused, buzzed again. I switched it off and listened to my breathing. Steady, new. By morning, there were voicemails stacked. I brewed coffee, listened to none, and texted, "The transfer is canceled. We speak when respect is non-negotiable." Then I blocked numbers and went to work. Marcus eyed me over takeout. "You look lighter." "I put something heavy down," I said. An email came from Nathan, humbled. He apologized for judging in a house I'd been funding and said he'd push Clara to make it right. I didn't answer. Apologies can season change, they aren't change. Friday, I hit cancel on the recurring payment. The confirmation felt like a door. Mom called from a neighbor's phone. "We'll lose the house." "Maybe it's time to live smaller," I said. "Smaller can be kinder." 2 weeks later, we sat in a counselor's office. Clara and Nathan, my parents, me. No theatrics. Dad admitted the debt was older than his excuses. Mom admitted she'd traded my dignity for a peaceful seating chart. Clara said she'd confused performance with purpose. I didn't cry. I set terms. Honesty, boundaries, no secret bargains. If they wanted me, they'd meet me there. They tried. The house went A condo came. Relief followed like air after thunder. Clara and Nathan sold the bathroom palace, bought plain walls, and learned the difference between gleam and grace. I kept my car, bought time, then a place with morning sun. I adopted a dog who greets me like I'm the best idea I ever had. Sometimes we pass my parents' old street. I pause, then walk on. Contribution isn't marble or money. It's truth told without flinching, and the courage to stop funding your own erasure. I take my seat at my own table and raise a glass to the quiet that follows. Earned, mine.